The next question is on apprenticeships in the name of Assembly Member Twycross. Are you on course to meet your targets for increasing apprenticeships in London?
Well, Fiona, I hope so. I mean, we're trying to do 250,000 by 2016, and as I was saying in an earlier answer, I think to Andrew, it has been going very well, but progress is now. We're now in the hard yards, and there's lots of things that we need to do to try and keep the programme going at the rate we want. But I want to stress, since people will be watching this and thinking, should I hire an apprentice, it's a fantastic thing to do. 85% of them stay on and get full-time jobs. They are brilliant employees. They'll reduce your costs. It's the way forward for young people.
Okay, I mean, I share your aspiration for increasing apprenticeships, and although I wasn't quite clear about the points being raised earlier by colleague opposite. But why have apprenticeship starts declined in London in the past year? How can you be confident or hopeful of reaching your target if the rate of growth has slowed down to the extent it has? And with levels of youth unemployment, particularly among young black men in London, too high, don't you think that a bit more stronger action is needed to push this forward?
I do. I mean, obviously the answer is partly the one I gave earlier on, which is that, I mean, there are two, which is natural economic confidence is starting to see some of the people who might have got into the apprenticeship programme getting just jobs in normal course of things. But there is a group that really needs help, and a group it is particularly hard to reach. They are exactly the sorts of people that would benefit from apprenticeships and from the apprenticeship campaign. So we're putting money into a big publicity campaign. We're trying to get SMEs who are particularly capable of taking on this type of young person to see the benefits to them, try and explain the programme, sell it better, and put more money into it. And one of the things we want to do is get back to the 3,000 a year support for SMEs to take on young people, and we'll be putting some money into that as well.
Okay. One of the things I've been looking at in relation to apprenticeships is the age profile, and you've repeated, and I think most people assume that apprentices are young people who are starting out in life, going out to get skills and vocational training that will set them up for a career longer term. And there's something about the age profile that's out of kilter with the impression that people have about the role. And the number of apprenticeships in the over 25 group has increased by 452 from 2009 to 2010, compared to an increase of 20% for under 19s and 63% for 19 to 24-year-olds. In fact, in 2012 to 13, almost half of the apprenticeship starts were over 25-year-olds. And I've established, because I've been looking at...
Which year was that?
Last year, 2012 to 13. And one of the reasons for this, because I've been trying to dig down into exactly why this would happen and why it would happen with, around the change of government, is that the government appears to have reclassified over 25s who are already in work but working towards a qualification as an apprenticeship. So, to be honest, I'm not at all sure that those classed as apprenticeships for this purpose will even necessarily be aware that they are as a result. Will you make sure that the 250,000 apprenticeships you are committed to creating do not simply constitute a reclassification of existing roles, but are new roles to provide much-needed work skills and experience and are helping young people, first and foremost, find their feet in the workplace?
Yes. I mean, the brief I've got is that most of the people that we classify that have become apprentices in London since 2009-10 have been under the age of 25. There's no reason why you shouldn't have apprenticeships for older people at all. I mean, I think that's not a bad thing. I'm slightly with you on the reclassification thing, and we will dig into that.
I mean, I'll send you the figures we have on that, but I think I'm concerned that I mean, and I agree with you that people over 25 should also be encouraged to take up apprenticeships if it's appropriate, but I'm concerned that there's an issue around reclassification rather than creation of the roles. The other thing I just wanted to ask briefly was whether you're concerned that some employers appear to be using the role of apprentice to pay less, and do you agree there needs to be greater control over this area to avoid potential exploitation? For example, I have 2 adverts for jobs at a major high street chain that are almost identical, one for a retail apprenticeship paid at £2.68 an hour and the other for a sales advisor paid above the minimum wage, both of which, when you look at the actual content of the advert, appear to contain the same element of training. And do you think this is appropriate? And if I pass on the details of the retailer to you, would you contact them and ask them to think again about their approach?
Sorry, yes. What are they doing wrong again, Fiona?
Well, they appear to be paying people who are classed as apprenticeship, obviously at the apprenticeship rate, but identical jobs paid over the minimum wage are being advertised with the same training element.
We should look into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pass it on, because I think there's a serious issue around low pay anyway in London, and if people are trying to avoid it, then there's a real issue.
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, the apprenticeships programme goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the living wage, and there we have made progress, but as you and I have said many times, there is a lot more to do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll then